Newsfirst, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a very good evening to you and welcome to Newsline Prime. Live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And here we go. 4 years on, where is the accountability process? What has happened? Where stands our political situation? To discuss this and more, we have a representative from the JVP, Mr. Wasantha Faraz. Very good evening to you,
Very good evening, Faraz, and all of you.
And straight away, let me get to the question. Very clearly,
yes.
Will the JVP be fielding its own candidate for the presidential election?
Definitely. And the next, if there is any presidential election soon or whatever it is as a constitution, JVP, or there may be a big front with the JVP and all other progressive movement and association and people maybe, definitely we will contest for the presidential election.
So later, you're not going to come and say anything?
Why? Now we have think about there is no any alternative. Therefore, we need to form and formulate big people's front. That may be with the JVP, and we are in these days we are talking about that, and we have many discussion with some organizations and some intellectuals and unions and some associations.
Have you had discussions with other political parties?
Yes.
With whom?
But that's not these two bourgeois parties. That mean not only two and right now three. UNP or SLFE or Mahinda Rajapaksa's newly formed that party.
Yeah.
We are not talking with them, never. We don't want to go with them. With the people who are willing to develop this country, who need to bring a better future for this country, who wish to give good, better opportunity to this youth in the country, we will definitely work with them. Anybody can join with this mass people's front with who are willing to develop the country, and we need to bring better future for the country. Who are willing to that, then they can join with us.
So you're absolutely clear.
Definitely.
The next presidential election, the JVP will have its own candidate.
Definitely. Will do.
You're not supporting SLFP,
to
UNP,
whom? To
SLPP?
Whom? To whom? Why? Mr. Rajapaksa?
But he can't come in anyway.
No, we previously we support some kind of political scenario. We had most of the discussion. In that particular moment, we had to do something.
Right.
And 2015 also we chose the alternative candidate.
Right.
But finally, end of the day, he also tried to capture power and continue second term also. Then we don't want to believe them again and again. We not trust them. Definitely we will contest next presidential election as maybe a JVP candidate or other front who we are going to build a broad front during in that front or JVP definitely will contest for the next presidential election.
Right. Now, you said you don't trust them. All right?
Yeah.
I just want to say to you that a few days ago, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, made a speech in which he described a certain scenario. He said he had this scenario in which he described how he raised money to build a hospital, right? The cancer hospital. So he collected money and he built the hospital. Then he realized that you need money to run the hospital. So he collected money again. And he said that people were happy to donate the money, to do both those things, to build and to operate it. And then he started wondering why the Pakistani people, they're very high up on the giving stakes. Number 5, I think. They are happy to always give.
Yeah.
All right. So he was wondering why they were so happy to give money to build this hospital and to run it, but the people never paid taxes. The taxes, the collection of taxes was very little. And then Mr. Khan said that he realized that it was clear that the people did not trust the government with their money, because they used to take this money and spend it on lavish lifestyle of the politicians. Mr. Khan was speaking about Pakistan, but he could well have been speaking about Sri Lanka, because that's what happens, doesn't it? People come, Mr. Wasantha, to power, and and all of a sudden they need to have SUVs, they need to have luxury limousines. They've forgotten their roots. They need everything to be in certain international style, which is fine, excepting there's one thing, Mr. Wasantha, they don't deliver on the international understanding of good governance and democracy. Why do you think that's happening? Why is there no good governance? Why is there no democracy according to international standards?
Very simple answer.
Yeah.
Very simple answer, because we don't have that kind of people in the parliament. We couldn't have the people of the country suffering. As you explain about the Pakistan people, and think about the Sri Lankan people. They always like to give and donate some. They like to donate much, I think. But in that scenario, they like to give their homes and their wealth and everything. If the government going to tax us, they don't like, because of they don't trust the government. That's why. Because of that, the people believing they are a very bad fellow in the parliament. That not the parliament, in the cabinet, the government. That's why. That's why the people, when they are coming to power, they are giving so many promises to the people. After he came, after they come to power, they are forgetting totally that all the things what they told to the people or country. Then that's why our country also suffering of this kind of scenario, this kind of things, this political scenario. They always cheating people, robbing the country, and increase in bribery and corruption. With that, all other bad things increasing. In these days, you see what we are talking about the country. As a country, we are talking about the big deal of the marijuana dealers, cocaine dealers, and murder, who are in the underworld gang. They are the people. We are, as the country, we are talking about them. But you think, in this year, nearly more than 400 schools didn't attend even single student for grade 1. More than 400 schools didn't attain. The enrollment was 0. Nearly 150 schools, enrollment was 1 child for a grade 1. More than 150 schools, 2 children. Nearly 700 schools, enrollment was 450 students. How? This is the situation of the country.
So what do you think is the fault of that? What is the problem?
Problem is the government doesn't have a proper plan to how to run the country. They have plan to how to increase their wealth, not the country. How to increase their properties, not the country. That's why we need a good people to the government. If we have a good government, good people in the government, we can bring the country good governance. Otherwise, we don't want to practice even in not only the area, in the world. We have so many experience. We can get so many experience in other countries.
But Now I want to ask you another question, Mr. Wasantha. In Sri Lanka, this is a question that's coming through on our SMS here. As always, Newsline Prime as well. We encourage you to send us your questions by SMS. 0772 300 305 right here. And if it's relevant, we'll take it on. Now, one of the questions that have been posed here so far is, in Sri Lanka, we pay so much of taxes, direct taxes and
indirect taxes.
Sort of hidden taxes.
Yeah.
And yet, with all this that is being collected, what's happening to this money?
You see, in last year, 2018, as an interest of the country, we paid 870 billion rupees. You see?
Okay.
870 billion rupees for an interest. You think about that.
Actually, I've got that figure down here. Last year, the local borrowings was 5,500 billion rupees. 5,500 billion with a B. Now, if you did the sums, and if it was 12% per year, you'd pay 720 billion rupees in taxes. Now then, let me ask you this question. That's last year.
Yeah.
Interest rate, let's say 12%. All right? But in 2014, the interest rate was less than 10%.
Yes.
9.8 something.
Yeah.
Let's say, for ease of calculation, let's say 10%. Now, if this government had borrowed 5,500 billion at 10% as opposed to 12%, the difference would be 170 billion rupees.
Yeah.
1,700 million.
Good point. Why?
Why?
When the 2015, our interest rate was less than 10%.
Yes, it was
less than 10%.
Yeah.
With the bond scam, it was increased more than 14%. It was sometime it was increased to 14.5.
Yeah.
In average, you mentioned about the 12.
Yes.
When the interest is increased, it's directly affected to the government borrowings.
Right.
That was the thing you emphasize here. When we consider about that local borrowings of government, 5,500 billion. If it was 10%, 550 billion only. But the bond scam, it was damaged all the country. That's why I want to mention here. Because of the bond scam, the interest rate was increased. Because of that, we need to pay more than 170 billion because of the interest rate was increased. That's the thing. That's why. But the UNPS and Mr. Wickramasinghe's government says they are the in Sinhala they are the fakir of the economy. But what was happened? What was happened? They said when we are coming, after we came to power, there may be so many circulation of the currency. People have money. There may be a job. You can change your motorbike to car. But what was happened? Within last 4 years, more than 400,000 lost their jobs.
Yeah, in the manufacturing sector.
Not only the manufacturing, I think it's maybe most of the agricultural sector. But the thing is, when the population is increased, as a country, we need to improve our investment. But what? The Prime Minister and President went to the Kuliapiti to start the Volkswagen manufacturing factory.
Yes.
But what happened?
But that was false.
Nothing.
That was just a lie.
Lie. Because of that lies, the internationally, they will understand they are the people who are lying the world, not only the country.
Let's listen to this thing about taxes. But before that, I'd like to pose this question. According to trading economics, global macro models and analysts, their expectations is that the personal income tax rate in Sri Lanka is expected to be 16% by the end of this quarter. Now, that's quite high. But let's listen to Mr. Imran Khan and what he said about what he thinks about people not paying their taxes. It's rather interesting. He gave the cricketing world a lot of pleasure. He's now, I think, giving the people of Pakistan even greater pleasure.
Definitely.
On that note, we're just going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about meritocracy, the rule of law, and how the state must be accountable. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And welcome back to Newsline Prime. We're in conversation this evening with Mr. Wasantha Faraz from the JVP. And we heard Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, talking about meritocracy, about the rule of law, and how the state must be accountable. Mr. Khan might as well talk about Sri Lanka, because in Sri Lanka, where is the meritocracy? Unless you're related to some politician or somebody, then you'll get a job. We call it nepotism. And the rule of law, what kind of rule of law allows it that a policeman who is caught taking a bribe of 4,000 or 5,000 rupees is given a prison sentence of 5 years? So what about these people who are responsible for, and it's not my favorite subject, but it is the subject that we must keep talking about to understand and to get our legislators to understand that this is a serious problem, and that is the bond.
Yeah,
what about the bond?
Not only that, just I want to mention about what was emphasized in Mr. Imran Khan's speech. You think about our country. That is the same scenario in Sri Lanka. People not trusting the government. Then how can the Sri Lankan people trust our government? You think bond scam happened in 2015. It's right now 4 years. It is complete in 4 years. In next 27th, it will be 4 years completed. We are going to organize big protest in the Colombo. Because of why? The first presidential commission, it was investigated till 2016, 31st of March.
Yes.
After that also it happened that bond scam.
Yes, there were two bonds.
Yeah, two.
The 29th and the 31st of March.
Not only that, continuously,
yes,
since 2017 December, it was happened.
Now, Mr. Wasantha, we need, so therefore what you're saying is we need another presidential commission.
Definitely. Otherwise, first presidential commission was investigated till 2016, 31st of March.
Yeah.
Another presidential commission definitely appointed. Otherwise, the next bond scam, we lost more than 12 billion. More than 12 billion. That should be fine because of 2016, 1st of April to 2016, 30 of September, the 6th month.
Yeah.
The profit of the perpetual treasuries was 6.8 billion.
In that year?
That 6 months, not years.
Yeah, in the 6 months. Out of the second bond.
The second bond. That's why we are asking, we appeal, we request. I wrote a letter to President. Please appoint same commissioners as a second presidential commission to investigate another one. Doesn't happen. Nothing happened. It's still not happening.
But why?
That's why I want to say, Mr. Faraz, how Sri Lankan people can trust the government, even President. He should keep the promise. He appointed commission, bond scam commission. It was given the comprehensive report. There was so many recommendations. Nothing happened. It was right now, the commission report also passed in near 1 year.
You met the governor of the central bank some months ago.
I met in 2018 21st of November last year.
And what did he say?
Yeah, we met and asked him what was happening right now, what was happening previously, and how is the things going on right now.
Yeah.
Then we had a lengthy discussion with the governor and so many officers and EPF officers.
Yeah.
He promised us, we have organized and we call for the 4 forensic audits.
4.
4.
Not 1, not 2,
No,
not 3,
no,
4.
4. He promised us we will start it soon possible. What was happened with the bond scam? The forensic audit will make so many evidence how was happening and who was involved and how we lost. But it's still not happening. And nothing happened.
And the best part of that is that the Presidential Commission of Inquiry said that the best way to discover the true cost to the economy, the damage to the economy of this country, would be to have a forensic audit.
Definitely, then we can identify how much of money, how much of damage, how much of affected to the country. As you mentioned, only for a domestic borrowing. Local borrowing of the government.
You know, Mr. Wasantha, I want you've just made me remember something to ask you. Arjun Aloysius was released from remand under exceptional circumstances, all right? Okay. Now, I put it to you that the bond scam 1 and the bond scam 2, which has not been looked into, together, they are more than exceptional. It has never before been repeated in this country since independence. That description is not mine. That's what the Attorney General's Department said at the Presidential Commission. So those are exceptional circumstances where the public's money, a hard-working public's money, where the EPF is concerned, was taken away from them. Nobody's talking about that. Those are exceptional circumstances. They are talking about recovering the assets of the 50 underworld kingpins. And they are talking about Madush and so on.
Yeah.
But what about this robbery? What about the proceeds of crime from this? This was a crime. It is not notional like one minister came on this program and claimed. These are real losses.
Real losses. The crime. Organized crime. That's why I want to mention you in here, Faraz, how our people believe the government. They don't have that even hope. The government will do these things, president will do these things. No. The president appointed another presidential commission. It was investigated more than 33 cases. It was in BMICH, previous government financial crimes. 33 files. But nothing happened. I could see in some wedding photo in Hambantota, Mr. Rajapaksa's younger son's wedding. Aloysius was there.
He was there at the church, I think.
Yeah, maybe without the inviting, you can go to the wedding. If you invited the people, you think who is the people, person, what kind of relations.
Did you get an invitation?
Never.
What would you have done?
I don't want to participate for that because of not the personal things.
Yeah.
But I don't have any personal issues with the Rajapaksa or their family.
Yeah.
But I have policy issues. That's why I'm not going.
Right.
No. But they have a big relations. That what is the showing that photo. Aloysius got the invitation. I saw some people.
But what does that mean to you, though? Just because he got an invitation.
The Rajapaksa and their regimes also had a big strong connection with Aloysius. Wickramasinghe and their party had a big relation with the Aloysius. I can believe now, Mr. Sirisena, president, he should have act as a president. Why? He had
but it's
real
never
power.
Too late. But it's never too late. Now he's acted.
Definitely he must be act, but nothing will happen because of he has only 10 months. He has only 10 months. Bond scam happened was 2015.
So the
Bonds
UNP
Commission report, his commission report released before 1 year. Nothing happened. How can people believe the president of government?
But
that's why.
What can we do very quickly? We've got like 1 more minute left.
Yeah.
What can we do to correct the situation?
Definitely, we have to force to government. We have to force to president. Implement the recommendation of commission.
Why can't we bring this to the special high court where it's going to be done very quickly?
Yeah, definitely. Then they should. It must be come. You see, previously when the case was here in the court, some MPs came out who are the clearance their checks and who are get the money. UNP some mayor, UNP some ministers and MPs and officers and MPs. But now it's also keep quiet, silence. What happened? President can ask.
Let's break that silence. Let's take
That's why
your protest.
we are always protesting that. We are always shouting below because of this. This is the organized crime. It was big damage to the country. As a voice against corruption, we are organizing big protest to Colombo to force to president, please implement 2 commission recommendation. One is bond commission, second one is previous government financial crime. There was a 33 reports and bond commission reports. There's a many recommendation. If the recommendation implement, people will have a small, very small hope the government will be react as a correct way. Otherwise, as you mentioned, some teachers in a jail. Why? He hit the student. Then case was asked in 4 years, but teacher was in 4 years in jail. How is this?
But the people who planned, and committed the bond scam are still free and there are no charges.
Not only this generation, it will be affect the next generation also, but they are in a freely in outside. Some are in the cabinets. The Prime Minister also have a big responsible. His friends is still in Singapore. He couldn't do anything. But how can the people believe? He can't say I can't do. I don't have to do anything regarding the Arjuna Mahendran. But he should. He had a responsible talk to Singapore president and have a diplomatic ties.
Or at least he should make sure the Attorney General files charges against him even when he's not here.
But nothing happened. That's why the people in Sri Lanka, like people in Pakistan, both have a same situation. We have to formulate proper people's front to fight against this bribery and corruption and this system. Otherwise, this will be continue without any harm. That's the thing we are seeing day by day. All the bad fellows becoming the power and they are destroying our country. Then if we are thinking about the good country, good governance, better future and better Sri Lanka, we need to act as a real people. Then we can correct the country.
Wasantha Faraz, thank you very much for having joined us on Newsline Prime. We're sorry about the overrun, but maybe I can just take the last question. A statement from a member of the public, all the way from Kegol. Today marks the end of the finance company, the oldest finance company in Sri Lanka. Where is the country heading? Indeed, that's a question we'd all like to know. Wasantha Faraz, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's the way it was on Newsline Prime today. We'll see you again on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Thank you. Take care. Have a great weekend and God bless you.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz.